We're going to obviously dive really quickly into the feud between Trump and Musk before we get to the New York City mayoral race drama and all the other things that are happening. Let's take a look.
That escalating public feud between President Trump and Elon Musk, their alliance now in tatters, just days after Musk left his White House role. It started as a dispute over the president's budget bill.
But now the two men trading personal attacks and threats. John Carl is standing by. He just got off the phone with the president moments ago. But first, let's go to our senior political correspondent, Rachel Scott, who is at the White House with the latest. Good morning, Rachel.
Hey, Michael, good morning to you. And this relationship just went up in flames. A stunning turnaround and an also very public meltdown between the president and the man once considered his most powerful advisor. This morning, the explosive public feud between President Trump and Elon Musk turning vindictive and personal. The president breaking his silence after the billionaire called his signature spending bill a disgusting abomination.
Elon and I had a great relationship. I don't know if we're well anymore.
Musk warning about the level of spending in the bill, which the nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office says will add $3 trillion to the national debt. Sources tell ABC News Musk personally pushed Speaker Johnson not to get rid of a tax incentive.
I love that everyone is crazy. Everyone is crazy now. Okay? It's not just the Republicans. The Republicans are also coping big time, right? Big news update. Kilmar Garcia was mistakenly deported to El Salvador, is on his way back to the U.S. to face criminal charges, sources tell ABC News. What are the criminal charges he's supposed to face? Like, that's not great news, if we're being honest. It kind of feels like it's the bad news. They're like, we're going to bring him back to do a sham trial so we can, like, prosecute him further. Okay, sick, weird. Sick and also sickening. What is happening in this goddamn country? We'll cover that. We'll cover that in a second. What I was going to say is going back to the Elon Musk situation. The reason why, no hate, but could you cover the record high ICE arrests and raids and them camping out court appointments across the country? What do you mean no hate? I will, of course. And I have. And I will continue to do so. And we're going to do New York as well. Just calm down and listen. We're going to get to all of that. Okay. You're a clown, Hasan. Thank you. Thank you for saying I'm funny and entertaining. I hope I can continue to be entertaining. So the Republicans are obviously in a deep state of panic and sadness because on the one hand, you know, the two daddies are fighting and that's always not great. That's always a sad state of affairs, right? But also on top of that, the liberals are not in the best state of mind either because they are looking at the situation and they have all collectively decided that this is a sham. On the one hand, you hear this from QAnon, but on the other hand, you hear this from BlueAnon as well, which I think is interesting. BlueAnon also thinks this back and forth is actually fake. It's crafted. It's only being done so that they can. It's only being done and unfolding. This drama is unfolding as a kayfabe, as a way to, like, I guess, get Elon back to the good graces of, like, liberals or something. And I think the truth is much simpler than that. These are two incredibly narcissistic, incredibly childish, egomaniacal man-children that have surrounded themselves with sycophants. So, of course, they were going to inevitably fight one another in broad daylight in the exact same ways that they are fighting right now. This was predestined. I don't think it's supposed to be, like, I don't think you need to read too deeply into what's going on. You know, if they try to patch things up later down the line, I feel like a lot of people are going to be like, see, we told you, like, this was always fake. It's like, no, they just did that because they realized that, you know, there's still this allegiance that they can maintain, which I don't even know if they will be able to. I just don't. I don't think that this is, like, fake. I don't think that this is a kayfabe. I don't think this is drama that they've created to make you pay attention to this and something else, like, you know, and not something else. As a matter of fact, Donald Trump's reaction to Elon Musk behaving in this insane way proves to me that this is not fake, because he is behaving like an adult, because he knows that he's the president and therefore has a massive tax cut bill that he is trying to advance right now, which is precisely the fucking reason why he's like, I don't care about this. Elon is just attacking the bill. He shouldn't attack the bill. The bill is very important. Big, beautiful bill. Big, beautiful tax breaks. Believe it. We're doing the tax breaks. You know what I mean? I think Donald Trump has been surprisingly adult and uncharacteristically adult about this breakup, which leads me to believe that the back and forth is very real and not manufactured or designed for our consumption. It was bound to happen at some point, and it's finally happening. And Trump is not excited that it's happening right now because he has a big, beautiful bill to push through.
Incentive to buy electric vehicles like Tesla.
I'm very disappointed because Elon knew the inner workings of this bill better than almost anybody sitting here, better than you people. He knew everything about it. He had no problem with it. All of a sudden he had a problem, and he only developed the problem when he found out that we're going to have to cut the EV mandate.
Musk was once considered the president's most powerful advisor, leaving the administration just days ago with an old...
It is also hilarious that this man promoted Teslas because Tesla stock prices were tanking in front of the White House and then turned around and cut EV credits, which further tanked the Tesla stock prices. Elon is such a stupid person. He is such a remarkably dumb guy. It is alarming. It is shocking to me that he can't even demonstrate basic competency. I don't understand it. Like, you might say, what are you talking about, Hasan? He bought Twitter. He was able to single-handedly drive discourse further and further into the right. And it's like, no, it's because he's really rich that he's able to do stuff like that, okay? He has an endless amount of power, but he doesn't necessarily have an endless amount of brain processing capabilities. It's not like he is, luck played a formative role in his career initially, but after a certain point of wealth, you're just basically failing upwards. It's impossible. You have all the safeguards. Like with Tesla being a great example of this. When you have two-thirds of your shareholders are institutional investors, then the entire market relies on Tesla constantly growing, and Tesla stock price is constantly going up. So now you have the rest of the stock market that is supposed to create a false sense of confidence around your stock because they're all invested in it. So no matter how much Elon lies or says ridiculous things or makes a fool of himself, these guys have to act like he's still brilliant. Otherwise, their money's on the line and nobody wants to lose money. That's it. The reason why I'm mentioning all of this is because I need you to understand that this man is not a brilliant person. He is just a very profoundly rich person. And when you're profoundly rich, you can be stupid and still have a tremendous amount of power. And his stupidity is endless. I mean, look at this. Associating yourself with a guy who is primarily invested in the fossil fuel industry and its dominance, who recognizes that the fossil fuel industry's continuation is a matter of national security from his perspective, because the global competitor China is completely dominating and has almost all but monopolized the renewable sector. And you're still trying to work with this dude. It's so stupid. You're inevitably going to tank your company. Republicans are never going to buy EVs because EVs are gay and woke. Come on, man. You know Elon means well. You're joking, right? 4-month subscriber. There is 0% chance that you think Elon Musk means well. He is the wealthiest billionaire. Oh, you're joking. Okay, thank God. Jesus Christ.
Oval Office farewell and a gold key to the White House.
Thank you, Elon.
Thank you.
Take care of yourself.
He spent $200 million of his own money to help Trump and Republicans get elected, appearing at events with a chainsaw, promising to slash spending.
This is the chainsaw for bureaucracy.
The president tapping him to lead the Department of Government Efficiency, giving him the power to gut entire...
Dude, I said this yesterday, but I got to repeat it again. If I'm Bill Gates, if I'm Bilbo Gates, okay, or if I'm Jeffrey Jebediah Bezos, I'm calling up every other billionaire to be like, we gotta do something about this guy. He is fucking up the bag for all of us, dude. Because, like, billionaires are supposed to move in silence, dumbass. You're not supposed to literally come out and be like, I own the elections. I am your God, okay? That is going to calcify the resentment that people already feel. You're not supposed to be a visible person. You're not supposed to be a visible enemy, okay? You are going to accidentally instill class consciousness in the working class when you do this. So I obviously personally love Elon Musk being a fucking baboon on the timeline and also in broad daylight. Okay? I think it's great. If I was a billionaire, and I am obviously according to my haters, I'd be calling up every other billionaire being like, dude, we got to stop this right now. The people are going to grab the pitchforks and burn us at the fucking stake if Elon keeps this up. Every day that Elon Musk goes on television and goes, USA, oh, chainsaw, I'm going to, as a billionaire, I'm going to fire every person that works for the National Forest Service. It's like the richest man on the planet working with another fucking billionaire asshole Republican to fire people that work at the National Weather Service is like, is propaganda that I could not have imagined. That's agitative propaganda that I would never be able to cultivate in a million fucking years. It is directly showing even the least class conscious Americans exactly what's up, exactly what's going on. Now, a lot of them are still deluded, you know? A lot of them are still primarily invested in making their own money, in being entrepreneurs, and maybe cutting a side deal here or there, and I don't know, doing drop shipping or whatever the fuck. Okay. And plenty of them still are invested in the notion of meritocracy because then they can make it one day. And obviously, if they were to realize that meritocracy is a lie, then what the fuck is this all for? Like, they're never going to actually leave their position. They're never actually going to leave their position as a wage slave for the rest of their fucking lives. So it takes a tremendous amount of agitated propaganda to overcome the pre-established social conditioning that requires everyone to buy into this process. But as material conditions worsen, and as you directly see these visible tyrants behaving in the way that like old monopolists wouldn't even behave in, that you only saw in like political cartoons, you know, like the fat guy with a monocle and a top hat being like, I will take all of your food. After all, I need it more. Like, that's Elon Musk in modernity, okay? Elon Musk is basically the human embodiment of capital. He behaves like the 1920s monopoly man with a monocle and a top hat. Like, that's what he's doing. And unlike the 1920s monopoly man, he's not even fucking building libraries. He's not even building like the next wing of the museum that you could go to. All he's doing with his spare time is constantly churning out the lowest bottom of the barrel memes so you like him. He ain't building railroads. He's building fucking tunnels to stop railroads from being built. We've devolved. Our billionaires and our oligarchs have devolved. All he wants to do is nut in his reply guys and reply gals and fucking tweet epic dank memes on the timeline. How can you look at the situation and go, nah, this guy's brilliant. He deserves it. He deserves his wealth. Meritocracy is real. He's too busy sending nut by mail to Twitter reply gals. Okay. Bro, I'm eating. Okay. Well, sorry. It's just the truth. So I love Elon being a buffoon. The real Gilded Age barons would eat this dude for breakfast. Yeah. So I don't know. I use every opportunity I have to basically try to show people the truth about how these billionaires are not these like brilliant shadowy figures that are controlling society. They're just immensely wealthy people that, by way of hard work for sure initially, and also a tremendous amount of luck, have generated endless amounts of wealth, and now use those endless amounts of wealth to continue to rob you blind.
Agencies and fire federal workers. But now the president says he didn't need Musk or his money to win.
I think I would have won. Susie would say I would have won Pennsylvania easily anyway.
And dismissing him as a disgruntled former employee.
They leave and they wake up in the morning and the glamour's gone. The whole world is different and they become hostile.
Musk clearly listening, outraged. Writing on social media, without me, Trump would have lost the election. Adding such ingratitude and suggesting he'll start a new political party. Then pushing back on Trump's claim that he knew what was in the bill, calling that false. This bill was never shown to me even once. The president turning up the heat, writing, Elon was wearing thin. I asked him to leave. Trump then threatening to cancel his $20 billion in government contracts. Musk then threatening to pull NASA's only ride to the International Space Station, writing, in light of the president's statement.
That, by the way, probably is one of the most like dangerous statements that Elon made. Dangerous for him, mind you. Like, calling Trump a pedophile is one thing, right? His cult is too strong. They're not going to care. They're not going to be like, oh my God, Trump was on the Epstein list. No, they're going to be like, oh, we know he was on the Epstein list. I've already said this before, and many others have as well, that like if Jeffrey Epstein didn't get assassinated, right? Most likely. That's my assessment. That's the position of the Hasanabi broadcast, obviously. If he was alive still and he was able to do like podcasts and shit, they would consider Jeffrey Epstein, if he did podcasts and was like, I'm anti-woke actually, and they only are coming after me because I exposed the wokes, he would be a fucking hero. He would be considered a goddamn hero by Republicans. Okay, these guys do not care about pedophilia. They do not care. They like pedophilia. It's like they do it. They practice it themselves. That's why there is the pedocon theory, which is a theory such as the theory of gravity at this point. You know what I mean? It's just real. It's not just a theory. It is just reality. To be fair, though, nobody really fucks with Matt Gaetz. Yeah, it's not because he was a pedophile. It's because he fucked up the bag for the never. He was the leader of the Never Kever movement. That's it. That's the real reason why they hate him, because he disrupted and made a mockery of the Republican Party by causing instability.
SpaceX will begin decommissioning its Dragon spacecraft immediately.
But anyway, this is the more consequential thing that Elon Musk actually claimed he was going to do and then very quickly backed away from doing, because this would actually have severe repercussions. It would destroy, first of all, this destroys Elon Musk's government contracts in perpetuity. Any serious government would look at this and go, okay, it's over. We are, one, using the Defense Production Act to instantly nationalize SpaceX and bring it under the banner of NASA. And two, you will never get a government contract ever again. The mere threat of not playing ball with the American government, or any government really, after you got endless billions from said government because you had a petty spat, is psychotic. I mean, it's the truth. That's how much power these fuckers have. And any serious government should look at that and go, okay, we're going to Chinese style Jack Ma you. We're going to hit the Jack Ma button. You're going to the countryside, you know? You're going to be picking up a pickaxe real soon. That's what any serious government would do. Any serious government that cares about preserving its national interests, its national security, for example, they would turn around and go, what do you mean? Oh, you had a ketamine-fueled bender and decided to destroy the public-private partnership that we've designed? Well, seems like that's a problem for the future. Yeah, I saw the Peter Schiff shit. I'm going to talk about it. I call him Peter shit.
Later backing off, saying he won't do that after all. Musk also saying Trump's tariffs will cause a recession and calling for the president to be impeached. As the attacks turn more vicious and personal, Tesla stock.
Like, can you imagine? Can you imagine being like I mean, this in and of itself is yet another unique radicalizing opportunity for a lot of people to understand that this private-public partnership is on tenuous ground. It's dangerous. It's dangerous to have a public-private partnership on all of this stuff because the private sector could just like pull out if they chose to do so. That's surreal. Can you imagine? Like, that's insane. And because there's so much power consolidation in the private sector, it's directly in the hands of one madman, one egomaniacal madman. As long as it is motivated by profit, the government thinks this creates stability. And the private sector can always say, well, our profit margins are down. Give us more subsidies. Give us more money, right? And as long as the government keeps the free flow of subsidies to the private sector, to the private partner, then it's fine, right? That's the way that they see it. That's the trade-off. Having said that, however, because of the way that the private sector works, where like one maniacal madman can just like break this contract apart in the way that Elon threatened, this should be a uniquely radicalizing moment for every serious person in DC that is even remotely interested in good governance. It's crazy. How would they nationalize SpaceX? I already told you, Defense Production Act and national, like Defense Production Act invoked for national security interests. Immediately fucking every single SpaceX employee turns into a public sector employee. And they fold SpaceX back under the banner of NASA. SpaceX already is SpaceX would not exist without NASA. SpaceX scientists have worked in NASA. They've worked in JPL. SpaceX is basically NASA but privatized. So it would not require much effort to fold it back under NASA. A lot of these private sector, a lot of these like private enterprise, a lot of these private companies are basically things that governments do all around the world, but privatized in the United States of America, or even things that the government used to do in the United States of America, like NASA, but now privatized because it's more efficient. There's no more red tape. There's more opportunity and more room for deregulation, and there's less of a battle for continuous funding necessary to keep up these programs. I would love for a NASA SpaceX merger, for the record. It would be fantastic. I wish that it would happen. I wish for it to happen.
Stock started to plunge, the company losing more than $150 billion in market value. But the billionaire not letting up, writing, "Time to drop the really big bomb. Trump is in the Epstein files. That is the real reason they have not been made public. Have a nice day, DJT." Musk, of course, there referring to Jeffrey Epstein, who was convicted of sex trafficking. He took his own life in prison, providing no evidence to back up his claims. In the middle of this very public feud, you have some public figures trying to broker peace. So take Kanye West, for example. He wrote on social media, quote, "Bros, please no, we love you both so much."
We are a deeply unserious nation, and we're becoming more unserious by the day. It's alarming. It's alarming that Kanye West, who is, I don't know, on his like 700th manic episode meltdown, is getting media coverage as a serious party between a very visible, very dramatic spat between the wealthiest person on the planet and the most powerful person on the planet. What the hell is going on? every single day, I think to myself, this can't be fucking real. Like, think about it, dude. We back in 2016, we would talk about like Idiocracy is a documentary. It's like we live it now. We just straight up live it. We're living in the actual real life version of this. What the hell is going on? And worse, why does nobody wake up to how psychotic this situation is? That's what I don't understand. Like, things are falling apart all around us at an alarming rate. Commentary has devolved. Every aspect of our existence has gotten worse year over year. And nobody seems to go, what the fuck is this? I guess we're just run by clowns. Everybody just goes, ha, that's funny. Ha, that's just funny. I guess we're run by delusional idiots. Who cares? I got to go back to work. Oh, well, what am I to do? Don't give people what they need, a social safety net. Give them what they want, delusional content. Yeah, I do feel like we're in the end times for American empire. And when things like this happen, I am reminded of that theory. Again, theory like gravity is a theory. It's so crazy, partially because I think back in the day, like the Roman Empire didn't fall overnight. It took hundreds of years. Okay. But nowadays, with the way that technology works, with the limited attention spans that we have, and with how information travels at an incredible pace, I think the decline of empire has also, like, because empires always fall, right? But the decline of empire has also become much faster. So what would happen in periods over like 500 years can now happen in like maybe 50 years. And we're experiencing that right now. I think in the future, we'll look back at like what happened to the United States of America and the empire in decline. And we'll probably point to like the Reagan era as the period that started the instability and accelerated the end of the empire. And given how things are working out with someone like Donald Trump, it almost feels like Donald Trump might be the guy who sees it happen. Not getting fries with burgers anymore is a sure sign that we are close.